I'd like to start by congratulating the leaders of the OIS on what is really a very special meeting, and we at the Academy are tremendously proud to have it as sort of the kickoff for the meeting. And we're going to have pretty close to 30,000 people here this year. The folks at the craps tables are very excited about that. But this really has become as integral a part of the meeting, in a sense, as sub-day is. So what I'd like to do is to give you a little view from the Academy with regard to one specific product and its implications. And I'd like you to stop for a second and stop thinking of the Academy as a membership organization, and think of it for a second as a company. It is. It's a nonprofit. It's a mission-driven organization, but it has, in a sense, the same mission as every organization in this room has, which is to bring better tools to ophthalmologists to enhance patient care, to improve the quality of care. And that's how we started the IRIS Registry. And those of you who were here last year may remember I stood on the stage and introduced you to it. It was, at that point, very much a newborn. And for those who weren't here, it is a system wherein data from a number of VHRs is uploaded into a cloud-based system and then is subjected to analytics and used as a way for ophthalmologists to, number one, view their own care, but also to benchmark themselves with a number of different peer groups, and at the same time to qualify for quality incentive or avoid quality penalty payments from the PQRS and value-based modifier system. This is all HIPAA compliant, and the individual ophthalmologist still owns the data. However, this is real-world analytics. And what we've gotten to is a point that the individual physician is actually able to do customized, risk-adjusted queries, drill down to the individual patient level. And again, the Academy owns the de-identified aggregated data, but not the individual data. So let me sort of tell you where we are now a year later, because I think this is tremendously exciting and has implications for every organization in this room. First of all, we're EHR agnostic. We integrate with 39 different EHRs, which means we can effectively reach the entire ophthalmologic community. Second, take a look at this participation by physicians. We're at a point right now where approximately 80% of all ophthalmologists in the country who can participate are participating. And that's only in 18 months. Look at the unique patients and visits. We're now over 60 million with 18 million unique patients. We anticipate that by the end of next year, we'll be over 140 million. This is big data by anybody's definition. What is it? What really makes it advantageous is this is real-world data. This is not what's coming out of somebody's phase 2 or phase 3 trial using a standardized protocol. This represents how care is being delivered by ophthalmologists, both in academia and in private practice, around the country. And it's now with a data set in ophthalmology, which is actually bigger than the entire Medicare data set, and is estimated to be 49% of the U.S. visit volume total. And it's current stuff. This is uploaded every week. Fresh analytics can be done every single week. And it's across the entire profession, which is critical because we know that neovascular AMD is not just cared for by the retina specialist, and complex glaucoma not just by the glaucomatologist. This is some of the data that we get out of this. And I'm not expecting you to sort of remember these numbers, but just to give you an idea of the amount of drill down and granularity we can get from this data. Number of eye conditions by age, the top 10 conditions. Again, this isn't Medicare, this is all payer groups in the database. We can look at issues of how do things vary by payer, by insurance plan. We can look at the top 10 eye procedures in any given period. Can also look at medications at basically a generic or non-generic level and look at trend analysis over time. Can look at issues of safety events. This is 2013 to 2014, had no data from 2015. You look at the number of cataract procedures, looking at 860,000. We can look at issues of IOL exchanges and then drill down to comorbidities, risk adjustment, etc. Infectious disease surveillance. We're working with the CDC right now to actually in real time come up with every single infectious disease case in our database. And if you look at this is fairly fresh data. Look at the number of conditions or procedures that we have. This, when you think of what we have in a typical phase 2 or phase 3 clinical trial, the ability to generate very quickly stuff with an incredible p-value is fantastic. Look at the glaucoma patient population for example here. 334,000 unique patients just through June of 2014. Look at one number, the average IOP. That's kind of interesting. It means that half of it is on the low side of 15. What does that mean? And can look at, again, some fairly granular data on things like visual acuity, intraocular pressure, again, in real time with huge N's. You can look at issues of procedures. One of the big potentials here is in randomized registries, trials, and I won't go into this in great detail, but this is really the wave of the future. So if we come down to why does this affect every organization in this room, this is now the data set that is the largest comprehensive specialty registry in the world. We're going to have over 100 million unique patient visits next year, not just claims data, but clinical data. And there's a wonderful opportunity to work with industry and the profession together to mine this data set, to prepare for clinical trials, to look at natural history data, to look at real-world treatment patterns, post-market surveillance. I think this is, and I'm very biased, a real game changer for all of us in the world of innovation in ophthalmology. Thank you very much.